9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Begin.
In the city of Philly, where the birds take flight, Eagle swag on the rise each and every night. Tone and Marcus got the scoop ready to ignite. From the lanes of South Street to the Broad Street lights, dashing like a running back, hitting every play. Blind guys in the zone, never led astray. Talking touchdowns, talking game day. Huddle around the mic, hear what they gotta say. Fly like an eagle soars in the sky. Tone and Marcus always standing by, bringing their heat, call it do or die. Philly squad, hear the battle cry. Fly like an eagle soars in the sky. Tone and Marcus always standing by, bringing their heat, call it do or die. Philly squad, hear the battle cry.
Welcome to the recap, folks. We can't just have nice things no more. We can't just have nice things, man. Trying to get the show together, trying to, get things ready, and then bam, breaking news.
Well, what we all deem as nice things is subjective.
That's true.
Right?
That's true.
Let's just put it this way: we were unsure what we were getting. You can't miss what you never had. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, you can't miss what you didn't have, but
you can't miss what you didn't have, and
that's facts.
Let's just pull the Band-Aid off. Let's not pull any punches with this thing. We're going to be respectful, of course, but we're just going to jump right into it. You guys are tuned into the Bald Eagles podcast. He's Marcus Thomas. I'm Tone. This show's the second. You guys know how we give it up here. Smash the like button, hit the hype button, subscribe to both channels, Pro Fan Talk and Chalk It Up Sports. I repeat, subscribe to Pro Fan Talk and subscribe to Chalk It Up Sports. The grind don't stop. The content is always in flux. Let's get into it. Jaire Alexander decided to step away.
Step away, Jaire
Not
Alexander.
from the Philadelphia Eagles, but step away from football.
Yeah.
According to many reports, Diana Rossini, Jay Glazer, so on and so forth, Jaire Alexander, the recent addition by the Philadelphia Eagles, remind you, the Philadelphia Eagles traded for him.
Yeah.
So they gave up an asset to bring the player in. And the player in Jaire Alexander decided to step away from the game. And rumor is he's contemplating retirement. And the word is he's taking time away to focus on getting himself right physically and mentally. Those were the words used, getting himself right mentally and physically. And immediately, my first thought goes to Zadarius Smith. And Zadarius Smith was an edge rusher the Philadelphia Eagles went and got earlier in the year. He paid dividends relatively quickly. A veteran, a guy in his 30s, a guy who's been productive in his league his entire career. The Eagles went and got him because they needed him. Granted, I think he was a free agent signing.
Mm-hmm.
But they went and got him.
But he was here. He was playing well.
Which is a little different than the Jaire Alexander situation. It's a little different. He was playing well. Jaire Alexander didn't play a snap for the Eagles. He just got here like 3 days ago.
He didn't even get on the field.
Right. He barely got his practice jersey. So he decided to step away from the game today for mental health and physical reasons. I'm not going to criticize the player, Marcus.
I can't criticize him.
But before I get too deep into my own opinion of the situation, I just laid out the facts of the matter. What's your thoughts on said facts?
Tony, I just told you 5 minutes before we came on the air, so I'm just finding out too. Usually in a situation like that, if you have issues, it's you. So clearly something's going on.
Right.
You referenced Zadarius Smith. Zadarius Smith was paying dividends. He was playing well, and he stepped away. If you got issues, it's you. So he got some stuff behind the scenes. We just had this whole conversation. Clearly, it is nowhere near as intense or as tragic as what happened to Marshawn Nealon. but I bring his name up because you never know what's going on in somebody else's house.
Exactly.
Everything looks all good. I don't know what was going on when he was in Green Bay and wherever else he was. He
Baltimore.
was a good player. He was trying to get it back on track. He came to a good team. We saw what happened with Jalen Phillips. We'll talk about that later, but for all intent and purposes, it looks like he had an opportunity to step on the field and do what he needed to do. And also, what every veteran player wants to do is you get an opportunity to compete for a Super Bowl. I'm not sure if he has one. I don't think he does.
No, he doesn't.
But
He's a 2-time Pro Bowler and a 2-time All Pro in his career.
Right. So you trying to stamp that, put that stamp on your passport so you can get that ring, and it is very, very difficult to get that type of opportunity.
Mhm.
So when you walk away from it, it must be something in the background that's going on that requires your utmost attention.
Yeah.
So whatever it is, I wish him the best. I hope we get our pick back. You know, I'm sure that there are some stipulations that go into things like that. This is not the first time this has happened.
Right.
So I'm sure that there are some provisions in the contract and things of that nature that will protect us and get our pick back or something like that. So I don't even know about stuff like that, but because the NFL is very, very stringent when it comes to stuff like that. So
yeah, it's like a player, you know, he getting his big payday, then he retires. Like the
He
league
retires.
they have stipulations in those contracts to, you know, protect the teams and those
yeah, that'll
organizations.
take care of itself. But
Yeah,
it's just,
but it's not really about the pick for me. I just see, you know, I watched his press conference or his first interview with, you know, as an Eagle, and he seemed mild mannered, seemed chill. You know, you saw parts of his personality.
the jokes about him and AJ Brown.
Yeah. And can
Yeah.
you also do me a favor and bring up that visual aid I have of this is a graphic I have waiting. He seemed like a guy that was ready for the next chapter, ready to play in an organization that's winning, that's competitive, where he can showcase what he still has left.
Yeah.
And the player is only 28 years old. So a guy like that who you would think is in his prime, unfortunately, he suffered some pretty damning injuries throughout his career, and you can see it right here. I have it on the screen. I have the games played, and I want you guys to hone in on his 2021 campaign.
Right.
And just look and look at it from that point forward. In 2018, 13 games played, 11 games started. He's a rookie, so you know, you never know. You're a corner, you know, getting your footing. He was a guy that was drafted in the, let's see here, he was drafted in the first round, 18 overall. So took him a little bit to get starts consistently, but 13 games played, 11 starts, not bad. 2019, 16 games played, 16 starts. That's when we were in the 16-game season. He played in every single game, played well. 2020, that was we were still in a 16-game season. He played 15 games, so he only missed one game. Not bad at all. So he has a clean bill of health for the most part, right? I'm sure maybe throughout those seasons he dealt with ticky-tack hamstring, ticky-tack strain, played through things, right? But then you get to 2021. In the 2021 season is where things get interesting because that's where he got paid. And he got paid, and he was never, ever truly able to live up to that contract. But from Green Bay,
21,
he got hurt. He got hurt, and you don't put that on a player. He played in 4 games, started in 4 games, a non-factor. 2022, he came back, played in 16 out of 17 games, not bad at all. Had a Pro Bowl and All-Pro season, so it seemed like he's back on track.
Right.
Then 2023 comes, 7 games played, 7 games started. He gets hurt again.
7-2.
And then 7 games played, 7 games started. And then 2025, he only played in 2 games for Baltimore. And if I could show you guys his injury history, Jair Alexander, his injury history is pretty alarming when you really key in on it. So they consider him Draft Sharks considers him to be very high risk. And look, this is all analytics. This is all analytics based. This is all data based. You know, it's not it's not one size fits all or end all be all, right? But when you see very high risk, it's really kind of hard to split hairs about that.
Right.
He had a 95% chance of injury in 2025. That's this season. He has a 16.2% chance of injury per game. Has a durability rating of a 2.42, with 5 being the most durable. And then when you actually get to the nuances of the injuries, October 27, 2024, tore his PCL. September 25th, 2024, pulled a groin. November 5th, 2023.
He by definition, he the walking wounded.
Yes, quite literally. November 5th, 2023, a shoulder. September 25th, 2022, groin.
Wow. I didn't know he was that banged up.
October 31st, 2021, shoulder AC joint sprain. 2020 in November in 2020, excuse me, head cranial concussion. January 19th, 2020, torn ligament in his thumb. December 23rd, 2018, groin pulled. September 30th, 2018, groin pulled. 2017, metacarpal fracture. In 2017 again, a knee strain, another knee strain.
Damn.
Jai Alexander, physically, he's been through a lot.
A lot, bro. I didn't know it was that extensive.
And he's playing corner. He's playing corner.
Maybe he just felt he didn't have it no more, man.
So you don't blame a guy like that for still lacking confidence in his body physically when he's been through what he's been through. It is unfortunate that the Eagles thought they were betting low on a player that can grant them high. You get what I'm saying? Like they were trying to buy low, and maybe they get some production out of a player who was a former All-Pro, former Pro Bowler, former first-round pick. This is a guy who's been considered one of the best corners in the league, like for stretches in his career. You know what I mean? There was like a legit 3-4 year stretch where Jai Alexander was considered one of the best corners in football.
And to even get to the point where Howie's talking to you, Vic had to think something of him.
Yeah.
So he's not the first and won't be the last veteran to want to step up and get one more shot at a run for a title, things of that nature, and still think they have gas in the tank. Yeah. And this is the perfect place for it. So, but to your point that you said earlier, when you're coming off of injuries like that, the most important thing to get right is your mind, because your mind has to tell the body you can still do it. Because when you're coming off of that many injuries, when you're getting back on the field, it's all about how quickly can you get back to full speed. Because if you ever pulled a hamstring, if you ever had a high ankle sprain, if you ever tweaked the knee, hyperextended something, the minute you're trying to go full speed and do what you normally do, the minute you got to stop, backpedal, make a cut, change direction, the minute you put pressure on said joints, the mental, your mind plays tricks on you, and you really got to force yourself to go through a 90-degree turn at full speed before your body says, okay, I think I got it. Right. And then you got to do it again. And then you got to do it again. And then you got to do it. You got to do it like 10 times at full speed before your body finally clicks and says, I'm okay. Maybe he never got to that point. Maybe he got tired of dealing with it. Maybe he got tired of rehab. Maybe something wasn't as healed up as he thought it was. And basically he was like, man, I'm tired of this. I don't feel like doing this no more. That's a real thing that athletes go through. I don't want to do rehab no more. I don't want to do Cybex no more. I don't.
Because remember, the Eagles said, he didn't travel with them to Green Bay.
Correct.
They put out a statement essentially indicating that they're going to continue to monitor his physical state before they put him on the football field, to make sure he's ready to go. So they traded for him knowing he still came with some baggage, but they felt like they had the resources to get him right.
Right. And his decision to walk away is definitely on him.
Oh, for sure. No, for sure. But I think the point I'm trying to get to is the fact that you have a guy, again, you have a guy that's been through a lot.
Yeah.
And he has high expectations out of himself. And when you don't have that confidence in your body physically, because that's the thing. You played this game. You know what's required mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually from this game. You know.
Yeah.
And you've suffered injuries in this game. I'm sure you're still dealing with some to this day just because of the nature of the game. But you still knew what you were capable of.
Correct.
And you still had trust in your God-given ability. You still had trust in your preparation. You still had trust that regardless, I played this game with no fear. And I feel for Jair Alexander in this regard because you dedicate your life to the craft. You put in a lot of you put in real work in this game too. It's not like you came into this game and people got to question what if. You two separate times in your career, people considered you the best corner in football.
Yeah.
So that's something you can be proud of. But at the end of the day, to lose that confidence in your body, to not know what's gonna happen if you plant and then drive.
That's Tone. I keep bringing that phrase up, bro. I done brought it up. I brought it up when we talked to Barrett. I brought it up last week. Do you walk away from the game or does the game spit you out? And this is a situation if he's truly going to walk away because he can't rehab, and the possibility exists it could be something totally different that he just don't want to let out. And we speculate. That is possible as well. But if it is injury related, if it is he just can't get right, if it is that is literally the game spitting you out, and the game is telling you it's time for you to hang him up.
Because remember, he only played 2 games for Baltimore. It wasn't like he was active in Baltimore and then we traded for him. That wasn't the case. He only played like the first 2 games, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Let me make sure I got this right here. He played in their September matchup against Buffalo.
Yep.
And then he didn't suit up again until a month later for Baltimore in their loss to Houston. Both times they allowed the offense to put up 40+ points while he was on the field. So he was a guy that they clearly weren't betting on. And again, I wish him the best.
So we back to Adoree and Keely.
And what a transition by you. What a segue by you, because Adoree probably came off one of his best games of the season.
Yeah. Yeah.
Probably came off one of his best games of the year.
For coverage, yeah. I still got some questions about him.
He made a really big tackle setting up 4th and short, I think. And then I think we stuffed him right there. I think that was his tackle, if I'm not mistaken. I got to double check. But he had a real big tackle in the open field. The guy tried to, I think, juke past him or hurdle past him, and he kind of flipped him.
Yeah.
Flipped his legs up, and he stopped him short. And I think we got the ball back because of that.
He had a solid game. Yeah. I think that
he wasn't a liability.
No, correct. There you go.
That's all we wanted from Jair Alexander. Just don't be a liability. Be stable.
That's all we want from any of them.
Right, from any of them, right? So now you're pretty much back to the drawing board when it comes to the outside. You still got Michael Carter II. He didn't play.
Michael Carter II, Jacorian Bennett. You still Keely Ringo still on the roster.
We know he played a little bit yesterday too.
He did, and we got to come to grips that they're not gonna cut him.
He also
at least not this year. They're not gonna get rid of him. So he gonna have his opportunities to get better. But I think Jacorian Bennett is next one up.
I think he deserves an opportunity at this point.
So, and then Michael Carter, Green Wing. He played 1 or 2 snaps, 1 snap. I didn't see the stat sheet, but
I think it was more so what the Packers were doing.
Yeah, I agree.
That led to that.
I agree.
You know what I mean? 1 snap, Fangio probably just wanted to get him out there to see, but then ultimately he said, okay, they're doing this. This is our best package. This is our best personnel grouping under these present circumstances. And the defense played phenomenal. Let's get into that. Eagles survived a slugfest. We talked about it briefly last night, actually.
Yeah.
They survived the slugfest against the Packers, a knuckle dragger at that. What many deemed felt like a playoff game. The nature of it, Lambeau Field, how gritty it was.
I didn't take it that way at all.
Every, at least in my humble opinion, it seemed like every yard came at a premium.
Yeah.
So I think that's what people mean by that. Both of these teams have a history. You know,
It was a defensive. It was a
almost
defensive
like like a grudge match, so to speak.
Yeah. It was
right.
It was a true
I
defensive
understand
battle.
perspective.
We should have had the game. We should have at least got to 20. I thought we was gonna get to 20 because Jalen fumbles the touchdown or fumbles that on the 14-yard line. We would have definitely got points out of that. So we shot ourselves in the foot a couple times, and I've calmed down since last night.
Yeah, actually,
last night, y'all, I was crashing out big time.
I'm actually glad we spoke last night, and now we're doing the show today because I am curious to see where your emotions have evolved to.
I watched a little bit of film today. I'm not as angry as I was last night, but my sentiment still remains, and that sentiment is we must be better as an offense if we want to have any type of chance to go deep in the playoffs. Because right now, the way we're playing right now, it is all on our defense. We are putting all of the pressure on our defense to stop everybody, and that's unfair and that's unreasonable. And we can't continue to play like that because this is the same thing. We barely getting by. We lucking out. I'm of the mindset of, and we all understand and know what the optics are. If the other team is dropping balls and we get lucky because the catch that they should have made, they didn't. The penalty that should have been called wasn't. When you get more and more plays like that and that benefits you, it's always the plays are all, or the penalties are always going to go both sides.
Yeah, I'm about to say there was a handful of things that went Green Bay's way that
exactly
Eagles' way. So I mean,
that
I don't
always
really
seems to work itself out.
Yeah, I don't really get into like
that
kind of stuff. That kind of stuff. It is what it is.
But it's the other stuff. It's the Jordan Love hitting a wide open receiver, the ball hitting him in his chest, and he's dropping it. That should have been a catch.
It should have been.
There were 3 or 4 passes that should have changed the game in favor of Green Bay, and they just didn't come up with the big catches. And we talked about that on the pregame show when we talked about do you have another guy? Is he just a guy, or is he a decent backup? And they wide receivers, they were missing them jokers big time, and it showed.
It's more than that though. It's more than that though, and I think it's beyond just talent, right? There's certain you played this game. I always rely on your experience. You play with guys they either know what to do when it's time to do it, or guys who don't know what to do when it's time to do it, or maybe they know what to do when it's time to do it, but guess what? They can't do it.
Right.
You play with guys that fold under pressure. You play with guys that don't make the play when you need to make the play.
Right.
Right. That drop in the first quarter, okay, whatever. That drop in the fourth quarter, that's damning. You play with guys who maybe drop the ball or two in the first half, second half, they ain't raindrops can't get by them. They catching everything.
Yep.
So I bring that up and I approach it from that angle because I look at the Eagles as a team that although they did not play the game, the type of game we would have liked them to play offensively, I didn't have a problem with their approach. Clearly there was a problem with execution and just so on and so forth, but I digress. There's teams who are built for the moment and there's teams who are not. There are teams who have the experience, they've been through it, they know what to do, when to do it, how to do it, why they're doing it. That's what separates, in my humble opinion, guys with championship DNA versus those who don't have it.
Yeah. Because
many times throughout that game, Green Bay just looked like the younger team from beginning to end.
They did. They really did.
And guess what? Jordan Love is the same age as Jalen Hurts.
Yep.
They're the same age.
And you know what everybody thought? Everybody thought that second half we was going to come out and we was going to flip that switch. And what people don't understand, it is so very difficult to just flip a switch. You don't go through practice all week not expecting to beat your man, not expecting to get open, not expecting to succeed. You do not, that's not the point of practice. So when you get into the game and nothing is there and you struggling to make something happen, and it just seems like you spinning your wheels and you're moving, but you ain't going nowhere. Something has got to click, and then everybody has to get in lockstep to execute and make it happen
under those present circumstances.
Correct. That's the difficult part.
That's the challenge.
Exactly, because you don't practice a fumble. You don't practice a drop pass. You don't practice a drop interception. You waiting for those opportunities, and like we talk about all the time. What do you do when the opportunity presents itself? Can you take advantage of it? Neither one of the offenses was doing that last night, except
but one team.
We got to the fourth quarter, and we finally we made two more plays than they did, and that was the whole difference in the game.
But sometimes ain't it like that though?
Sometimes
it's a game.
Exactly what it's
like. And it's funny. I woke up actually feeling better about this game. I'm being honest with you. I'm not, and you know me. I fly off the handle, bro. Like
I would. You know what?
I woke up feeling better about this game because this game, the stakes of this game. I never like to feel like I'm insulting the viewer. Right? That's never my goal. Because I believe everyone views this thing through their own lens, with their own perspective, right? So I never want to ever feel like I'm insulting the viewer. But part of me just feels like I don't know if people really understand the gravity of that win under those circumstances in the grand scheme of things.
And maybe that's
win.
how I'm looking at it. Maybe that's how I'm looking at it, because I know in the grand scheme of things, in the macro,
that win was huge.
They have to, but I'm looking at it from the standpoint of they have to look better. They have to play better as an offense. Again, I'm taking the defense off the field.
Right.
Defense, go in, get your snacks, you good. I'm looking at it specifically and exclusively on the offense. We have got to be better as an offensive unit, period. I agree. Because the competition is just going to get tougher and tougher and tougher.
And the margin of error is going to continue to shrink.
And there's going to be some point in time where the defense is going to give up 25, 30 points. And can the offense operate at a level that they can match that? It's coming. That's the question I have. I don't want to see. It's almost like back in the day when I used to create the highlight tapes for athletes trying to get into college. I don't want your parents to send me nothing but you dunking on somebody. That doesn't tell me anything about how good your game is. I need to know what you do against competition. I need to know how you respond when somebody gets the best of you for a play or two. I want to see what you're like in a real situation. That's what I need to see from our defense. I mean, our offense. When we come up against that defense that looked just as good as Green Bay did last night, because Green Bay's defense made some plays. Green Bay's defense paid their half of the rent.
They made a lot of plays.
A lot of plays. That's what I need to see. I don't want to see what we did against the Giants. I'm looking at a real defense that's got the same type of expectations that we do.
But let me ask you this, though. The Eagles are a team that have perpetually thrived under pressure, and they've proven that when the rubber meets the road, like you say, when you play those better teams, the margin of error supposedly shrinks, right?
Yes.
Can you name a better team? Can you name a team that has performed as well as the Eagles when the margin of error has been as slim as it's been?
Nope.
I don't think there's been a team in football who's operated with the margin of error the Eagles have operated under and still been able to win these games. Now, is some of it self-inflicted? Sure. But I look at it like this. We're entering that wave of the season, that side of the season where now, I'm gonna be honest, I don't care who you blowing out. I want to pay attention to who you beating. Who you beating and what's the ramifications? Because I'm not impressed when I see the Lions blow out who they play.
Yeah, it's the who.
I'm not impressed. That doesn't impress me.
It's the who and the how
and the where.
It's the who and the how. So when you, can we put up that same type of offensive performance against the Lions and expect to win? You give me any other team.
Can the Lions put up what they normally used to putting up against our team? Like I asked those questions, right?
That is a fair question, but the only thing I say to that
unfairly, it doesn't answer your question. So
correct, but what I want to say is that's not my riddle to solve. I don't care what they do. The only thing we can control is what we do.
Okay.
And what we're putting on the field as an offense, in my opinion, isn't up to code, isn't up to our standards. If you say that's how we win, and that's how we went all the way to the Super Bowl, that's how we got it done. That was also last year with a different coordinator.
Yeah.
And a couple different pieces that aren't in Philadelphia anymore. So you got to take it from that standpoint. I don't want, come on, Kevin Patullo. The learning, the training wheels have to come off. It's too important right now. And right now, are we getting out coached? You can say that, but you can't put too much mustard on that because we still winning.
That part. And when you look back at the games where we weren't looking at the passing game, or look at the stretches or the moments where the passing game or the offense in general wasn't a problem, okay, were they out coaching the opposing defensive coordinator then?
Right.
Like, for example, did Kevin Patullo out coach Brian Flores?
That's a great question.
You know what I mean? Or were the players just executing at a higher level?
I think we were executing at a higher level because we didn't do nothing. Did we do anything out of the ordinary?
And that's why I look at this game against Green Bay and I say to myself, I had no problem with their approach. I had no problem with the methodology. There was a problem with execution, especially by the offensive line. You saw Jordan Mailata slipping on the turf or the grass.
Yeah.
And then I think right after that, Saquon slipped as well. It was just like
it was not good.
You saw miscues on the offensive line. Fred Johnson missed a big block that caused a loss of yards for Saquon. But again, this Eagles team offensively not playing up to snuff. We agree in that regard. I'm of the mindset that if there was any switch that I think is easier to flip, is my offensive switch than my defensive switch. I would much rather have, and again, we're just operating off what we know. Obviously, we want the Eagles to be good in every game, but we're operating off what's happened and what we would like to see happen and what potentially could happen. I would much rather have my defense solved at this point than my offense all the way solved. Because my offense, because of the talent I have.
Yeah, I agree with that.
They got to respect me no matter what.
I agree with that.
They got to respect Jalen Hurts no matter what. They got to respect that offensive line no matter what. They got to respect A.J. Brandon, Smitty, and Saquon and God. They got to respect those guys. Even if the Eagles are not executing on a high level, they got to respect those guys no matter what. You want to know why? Because of what they're capable of doing. So when the playoffs start, at the end of the day, when it's time to be a big money player, the big money player is going to show up. And I think the Eagles have those guys in the building. They proved that.
Right. I agree.
So that's what I'm banking on. I'm banking on when the money on the line, something going to shake. Because the defense, in my opinion, oh man, it's the best they looked all year. And I think they're only going to get better. Jalen Phillips, one game in.
The defense is our saving grace. And I guess I just need the offense to play a little bit better.
And this defense will always give us
be a little bit more consistent with what's going on. And I will feel a whole lot better.
Mm-hmm.
that's just me, but I need to
No,
see
I
that.
get it. I get it. I totally get it. You know
I
what
don't
I mean?
need 300 yards from Jalen Hurts. I
Nah.
don't need that. I don't need 250 from Jalen. But what I do need is I need an offensive game plan that's going to take at least 5 to 8 targets to AJ.
And
At
also,
least 6 to 8 targets to Devontae.
yeah. In hindsight, I don't think Jalen played bad last night.
I agree. He did.
Like it's been overstated.
He
He did not play bad last night.
Yeah, it looked worse than it was because the Packers did a great job in their zone defense, where everywhere he looked around, and this is where I look at Kevin Patullo, like, yo, you need to change up these routes, and we need to do a better job finding the soft spots in these zones because they was killing us with zones. So,
and I know you saw the film. They were not as susceptible to the play action.
no, they weren't going for play action for nothing. But Saquon, they got lucky with some plays that wasn't called. We should have scored a touchdown on one. Micah Parsons just out now tripped Saquon and nothing. So
dog. See, and that's why, like, when you really look at when you really get into the nuances of this game, when you start when you start getting through the haystack, you notice that the Eagles actually made a lot of plays last night.
Yeah.
Either they was called back by penalties or something happened that was a no call and prevented it from happening.
A lot of no calls, a lot of makeup calls.
There was a few Saquon runs that would have went for like 10, 15, 20 yards, but it got called back for a penalty.
Yeah, it was not a very efficient.
There was a moment where he had a clear lane. If Fred Johnson picks up his man, he allowed Quay Walker to shoot in.
Or was that the one where Fred Johnson slipped?
Or was that Evan Williams?
Or was that the one where Mailata was pulling?
No, not that one. I'm talking about a different run. Fred Johnson
was coming from the right.
Yeah, Saquon was running right. Fred Johnson completely missed his man. Completely. Quay Walker closed the distance so quickly.
Was that the 3-yard loss?
Yes. If Fred Johnson gets that block, Saquon's going for 10 yards.
Different ball game. Yeah, that's first down. Yeah.
So when watching that game last night, I didn't feel like they were getting perfect example. It didn't feel like the first half of that Lions game. I'm sorry, Rams game. Excuse me.
Right.
It didn't feel like the first half of that Rams game. It didn't feel like the second half of that Buccaneers game where we got by the skin of our teeth. It didn't feel like the Giants game, the first matchup. It didn't feel like the Broncos game. It didn't feel like that. I felt like I felt like I was watching a team that was actually playing well under the circumstances.
Right.
They were, I see people in the chat talking about an identity. They leaned into their identity last night. They were committed to the run. They ran the ball with Saquon consistently. They were missing 2 offensive linemen for most of that game. Lane Johnson came back for the final drive. You're missing.
So happy to see him come back.
You're missing your starting center. You're missing your Pro Bowl center and your All-Pro level right tackle. You lost Lane Johnson early too.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, they stayed committed to their identity, even when they was going through penalties, even when they had setbacks, even through the turnovers. They ran the ball. They leaned into the play action. You saw Jalen Hurts under center a lot.
A lot. Now, that was the one surprise that I was happy
you saw the pistol?
Yeah, I got to go back and log how many plays Jalen Hurts was under center, because that was the most I've seen him under center in one offensive scheme since he's been with the Eagles.
Patullo, he gets it now. We have, in order to keep look, Green Bay is just playing at a very high level right now.
I still don't like the fact that we didn't go at AJ a lot more.
That, in my opinion, is the one thing I will, without any hesitation, indict the offense for yesterday.
Yeah.
But AJ is too good to not be used.
He is, but I think, and a lot of people have said this, we got to put AJ in the slot. We got to put him in motion, get him in the slot. We got to get him away from the outside, because every time he's on the outside, it's almost like everybody know what we throwing. Because I know there was one play it was, I want to say it was 3rd and 8.
Mhm.
And they ran them same like comebacks, like you running the out, but you coming back to the ball.
Mhm.
So even if it would have been a completed pass, he still would have been like 3 to 4 yards short.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why are we coming back when we are not at the sticks? We got to go through it.
You know, to your point, Dallas Goedert, he's having some of the best production he's had this year. Smitty, same thing. Smitty plays a lot in the slot, plays on the outside as well, but also in the slot. Goddard obviously is in the slot, you know, especially in trips and so on and so forth, right? Like Jalen Hurts has been feeding those guys, especially in the red zone. Maybe just from a vision perspective, they need to get AJ Brown closer to his line of sight.
I don't understand why they haven't done that yet.
Or at least just experiment more with AJ. He's an X. We know he's an X. He's that dude. But you can move him around. He's good.
You move Dallas Goedert to wherever you want him. Fullback, left side, right side, however you want to do it. But you line him up where you want him to be, and then you move AJ into the tight end position. What that does is create a mismatch, first of all, because normally a linebacker is going to be covering the tight end. So now you got a mismatch. So you can do some more things with that. I don't know why they're not just trying to move them around a lot more. They ran that one formation all night where they had trips at the top, and then they said
Smitty motion.
Yeah,
they ran that so many times last night. So many times I saw Smitty running in motion. Not once did I see AJ moving in motion at all.
Yeah.
If they get AJ moving in motion and get him on a run, he's like a bowling ball. He's like Juggernaut. The more momentum he gets, the more powerful he becomes. Like, I don't think it's this difficult to get AJ involved. That's why I ask myself, like, okay, Jalen Hurts has never had a problem getting AJ Brown the ball before. Even last year, AJ still had over 1,000 yards receiving, had like 7 or 8 touchdowns. He missed 4 games. Who's this? If he plays all 17 games or even 16 games, he easily goes for over 1,300, 1,400 yards on the season. Maybe double-digit touchdowns, but he missed 4 games. So the narrative around Jalen Hurts being unable to get production on AJ Brown or vice versa is false. It's false and it's false. It's not accurate. It's not true. They've been extremely productive. This is the first season where AJ Brown's production has truly been a question. And I think last season, even when AJ spoke about the offense, he wasn't speaking about his production.
Right.
He was speaking about just the overall functionality of the offense. This year, I actually think it's about his production. Or let me not say just about. The production, his production is now paired with the functionality of the offense. So
he's been up and down so much too. So it goes back to what I've been saying. I want some consistency. I want to get back to, throwing for 225 don't seem so bad after last night. So, but I think ultimately, he'll be fine.
I think so as well.
It's one of those games. Just one of those games.
Yeah, and they know AJ Brown better than us, man. Sometimes you got that homie that shit. He get moody around this time of year.
You said moody.
I just look at this Eagles team, and when I consider what they've done as an organization with Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni at the helm, with this nucleus, right?
It's incredible, bro.
Including AJ Brown and Devontae Smith. Saquon, this is his second year with them, but the main nucleus that really started this era, Jalen Hurts, Devontae Smith, Landon Dickerson, AJ Brown, Jordan Mailata, Lane Johnson, so on and so forth, right?
Right.
Dallas Goedert. Guys, it's just like, I just feel like they've experienced so much in this league from an experience perspective. And I find it hard to believe that a team like this, with this quarterback at the helm, with this type of talent, all littered throughout, with Vic Fangio calling the defense, I just think that any team if the Eagles get the number 1 seed, because I think if they get the number 1 seed, they're going back to the Super Bowl. I trust the Eagles to beat anybody at Lincoln Financial Field. Now, if they don't get the bye week and they got to travel a bit, if they don't get the bye and they got to travel, then the odds go down. But the Eagles, the way the Eagles play, believe it or not, or the way they've been winning for the most part, believe it or not, it travels.
Yeah,
that ugly rock throwing shit travels.
It does, but that's so week 16.
Mm-hmm.
That's where you want to see. That's where you want to see the consistency. That's where you want to see by week 16. We should not be having this conversation about the offense.
Yes, I agree. Because at the end of the day, the playoffs, if you get the number 1 seed, you got to win 3 games.
Exactly. So if we at week 16 and we still having the same conversation, I'm concerned. Yeah. I'm concerned because that means we haven't figured it out. We still making the same mistakes. And we just have no type of imagination on what we want to do with our offense. If we in week 16, if we still talking about AJ getting 2 and 3 targets, come on, son. We have to be better than that. And I guess that's why I'm just go ahead and looking ahead. I'm not trying to skip over any games, but I know what it takes. I know what it takes for us to do what we just did last year. I've seen it. And now that we know, we got them dudes back on defense. We know that. Jalen Phillips is a stud. Point, period, end of paragraph.
This defense is going to get better, man.
Better.
I'm telling you.
Better. So that part is handled.
Nolan Smith is hungry. First game back, sack. BG, disrupting that jet sweep, right? Yes.
The defense is solid. The only thing, never in a million years would I thought the offense was what we would be worried about this year.
And to your point, they had more consistency on that side as far as personnel. Only thing missing is Mekhi Becton, and you can't tell me Mekhi Becton is not being there is the reason why they're not good. I'm not buying that. No. I'm not buying that. He was great. Don't get it twisted. He was great on the interior.
He's just getting back on the field in San Diego.
Exactly. So I'm not ready to sit here and say Mekhi Becton is not being here is the reason why they're not good. But not many teams can say they brought back 10 of 11 starters on offense, right? I see teams that got new coordinators and they still find a way to be productive. But so that begs the question: either the Eagles are the Eagles hiring the wrong people, or they are literally causing friction within Jalen Hurts' development at the quarterback position.
Can it be both?
It can be for sure because
if they hiring the wrong people, obviously you're looking at the coaches.
You know what? Let me not say hiring, elevating the wrong people.
Same thing.
Elevating.
You got to be hired. You got to be hired to get the elevation. So
I guess that's true. I guess I look at like hiring being outside, elevation being inside, or internal. But I get what you mean, though. At the end of the day, it's a hire. It's a hire.
Right. But at the end of the day, the expectations for you will always be high. Even more so because you from inside the building. So your leash may be longer, but your grace period is shorter because you've been in the building. You know how things work. You understand the environment. You speak the language. You talk to Jalen every week. None of this stuff is new to you. You ain't got to build new relationships. The relationships are already there. So that should mean that you have a better handle on this offense, and it should be running much, much smoother than it actually is. Yeah. So at the end of the day, you got to get it together at the right time. And it's hard to get it together with the way we look sometimes. We are not going to win the Super Bowl being bipolar. Not going to happen. We got to be strong. The defense has established themselves as they the biggest dudes in the gym. They them dudes that's throwing on 4 and 5 plates on the bench press. That's what our defense is.
And also that defense is also proven, to me at least, they're going to buy this offense as much time as required to get to that point.
Correct.
They're that good. Now there's going to come a point in the game where, all right, at some point, offense, you got to make the play.
Correct.
But defense, they're good enough to buy this offense as much time as required to get right. And when we talk about this offense, I would say we're talking about it with a blend of objectivity and subjectivity, because we're still calling out the clear deficiencies while still trying to maintain some level of optimism.
Yeah, that's fair.
And you have some people who, because I read the chat sometimes. Sometimes there are people who have a perspective of, hey, y'all sugarcoating it. Call it what it is. They trash. It's like, well, them being trash is not exactly what it is. It's way more than just that. So, I think they're going to be fine overall. And I think when the lights get brightest, I know who Jalen Hurts is. I know who Devontae Smith is and A.J. Brown and Saquon and his offensive. I know who this team is when the lights are bright. Who's Sam Darnold when the lights get bright, though? Who's the Seattle team? They're young. They're new. They're fresh off the pack. You know what I mean? They still got the creases on their jerseys. You feel what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
Who is Sam Darnold when the lights get bright? I've seen him in the playoffs. I've seen him under duress. I've seen him in a game where he flat out lost the number 1 seed.
Yep.
It's winning, you win. You win and you get the number 1 seed.
And we don't have that problem.
Who is, with all due respect, Jared Goff when he has to be the guy when things aren't working all the way? Last time I checked, we saw Jared Goff blow a 17-point lead against San Fran.
Hello.
We saw Jared Goff. We seen Jared Goff and these dudes get mollywopped by the Commanders, a team that's never going to make the playoffs this year.
No. Anybody can get got.
Like, people put a lot of stake and a lot of stock into some of these quarterbacks and some of these teams that ain't shown you nothing under pressure. Nah,
they just worried about what it looks like.
And look, there's always going to be a new team that proves that they're capable, right?
Right.
That's why it's not too many repeat winners in the league. Right? There's always going to be a team that proved that they were the ones that had the answers all year long.
Correct. Everybody wants to say, I told you so.
Right. So, people want to be the first to say, hey, this team, I was on them. I knew they had it all along. Right? But until then, until we get to that point where they actually prove they had it all along, I'm going to talk my shit as an Eagles fan. and I'm gonna make it very known that you ain't done nothing yet. I seen what Jalen Hurts did. Big time. Big baller brand. You feel me? So there's levels to this thing, man. And call me optimistic, call me sugarcoating it, call me what you want.
Call me a winner.
I trust Jalen Hurts. I trust Jalen Alexander.
Call me what you want, but you better call me a winner.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Let's hit some of these super chats. They piling.
Yeah. Let's do that.
It's a good problem to have.
Yeah, we appreciate y'all, man. Make sure y'all smash that like button as well. Make sure you guys.
I want my pick back. Talking about Jair.
Right, exactly. Make sure you guys smash the like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed. We really do appreciate y'all so much for locking in on the channel as always. You guys are phenomenal. And we really love everything about you guys. Thank you guys for being a part of this community that we're building here at the Bald Eagles Podcast. Shout out to I'm Not Doing Okay Right Now with the super chat. And we also got Miss Fanny Woods. Miss Fanny with the $5 super chat. She says, an NFL player who suffered an injury has the same mentality as a veteran with PTSD. It's called a trigger. The fear is still there and it's real. Yeah, and you have some people who are just flat out able to just they're borderline psychopaths about football, so they don't care about their body; they just want to play. Right? Some guys that just see their body as a tool and they're going to get the most out of it. And some guys they're a little bit more conscientious about it. So hopefully things trend up for Jair Alexander. You wish a guy like that well, who's played the game at a high level, and it's probably hard to reconcile with not being able to play at that level at this point, dealing with the injuries. Green Wingman with the super chat. Thank you again, Miss Fanny. Green Wingman with the $10 super. He says, even after acquiring Jair, excuse me, I still felt that Ringo, Jackson, or Bennett were still ahead of the pecking order at CB2, and this retirement kind confirms my suspicion.
Take Ringo off.
I take Ringo off, but I get your point though, right? A lot of people felt like Jair Alexander was somebody that still had to prove that he was better than those guys because of how his previous season went and the start of his season with Baltimore went. It wasn't like Jair Alexander came in here immediately being the guy, right? In comparison to Jalen Phillips,
he had to work a little bit.
He had a different situation, right? You can just tell by what they gave up to get the player. Equity right there. You give a 3rd round pick for Jalen Phillips. He's starting. He's starting. You know what I mean? Alex with the super chat. Thank you again, Greeny, for the super. Alex with the $9.99 super chat. He says people are quick to downplay Adoree Jackson, but besides week 1, he hasn't allowed more than 38 yards, and he ranks 5th in tight window percentage force per next gen stats. I would say he has to get better at tackling.
You think,
Alex? I feel
Captain
Alex,
Obvious.
He doesn't get better at tackling. But Alex, you raised an interesting point, right? Because sometimes we say things because we're just used to saying them. For example, we're used to saying Adoree Jackson is bad because he has been. We're used to it, so we expect him to be bad. And even when he does something good, we're still looking for the flaw in it, or we still feel like, I don't know. We look at it through this lens of, oh, thank God, rather than let's go. You feel what I'm saying?
The fact that he played competently is a relief.
Right, and that's
not an expectation.
And that's not a good place to be. It's not a good feeling when you're watching the game, hoping the guy doesn't fuck it up. So
not even.
But when you take that out of it, right? When you take your priors out of it and check your ego, he actually hasn't played bad. He missed some tackles. Let's not get into. He missed some crucial tackles. I will not deny that, like Alex said. But in coverage, he hasn't been that bad. And even when he was healthy earlier in the year and throughout the season, I felt like when he was in coverage, the windows were tight for the quarterback. They just made a hell of a throw.
Right.
I've seen that on more than one occasion this season with Adoree Jackson, where he was in position, quarterback just made a hell of a throw where only the receiver could have got it from. So maybe Adoree ends up being the guy for the receiver future. He just has to stay healthy. But you still got Jacorian Bennett waiting. Marcus, you want to read this one?
William Johnson 4529. I have no doubts about the offense and know they'll bounce back. Mark my word and go Birds. I hope you're correct, William. You know me, I just want to see consistency, man. I need to see a little bit more, and I need to see a little bit more confidence in what we're trying to do rather than trying to roll Jalen out and looking for something. And I don't understand why we don't go to like a tempo offense, no huddle, quicker when we stalling out. We seem to have success with it. I don't understand why they trying to keep that bullet in the holster, man. That's like, you got to chamber that joke and pull that trigger. But we'll see. Things are going to change the closer we get to the end of the season and the closer we get to playoff pushes. Things will change. So let's see if they change for the better.
Yeah, we
shall see. Creativity and operating within the art of the scheme doesn't exist with the Eagles. Our talent carries us over the hump. This is a coaching-centric issue. Other teams can scheme open their best players. This is a crime. I have no argument whatsoever.
Yeah, I'm not arguing with that at all, especially on the
offensive side. Copycat league, everybody else doing it. Why can't we?
Yeah, I'm not against it. You know what? Call me crazy, man. Sometimes I'll be having moments like, yo, just get a play call back to Sirianni. Fuck it.
No. No.
Yo, just give him the launch codes. He'll be okay. just give him just give Sirianni the nuclear launch codes. He'll be all right.
Terminator, bro.
I'm not doing okay right now. It says I hate not knowing what kind of offense we'll get every week.
I
No, we
agree.
know. No, we know. It's just we don't know if they're going to execute or not.
Right.
Because again, I'm still going to keep beating this drum. They came out with the right idea, and they stuck to it.
Execution failure.
Execution just didn't. They didn't allow Green Bay to force him into passing the ball more than what they wanted to. Jalen Hurts had 26 pass attempts. That's his sweet spot.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. 25 to 30.
Right. And they leaned on the run game. Green Bay played extremely well.
Their defense was balling, bro.
Yeah.
Flying around the field.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Alex with the super chat says Patullo takes out either AJ or Smitty gonna play. Shaking my head. Yeah. I don't know what's going on, man. I don't know.
I don't get it. I don't get it. Seattle is cool, but they haven't beat anybody good.
They haven't. That's a good point.
Win was week 2 versus Pittsburgh, and they are 5-4 now.
Right. Pittsburgh looks like pretenders.
That's a good point.
That's a good. Seattle has not beaten anybody good at all. As a matter of fact, if I'm looking at Seattle's schedule right now and who they've played, they've beaten. They lost to the 49ers in week 1, right? Week 2, they beat the Steelers. Week 3, they beat the Saints. Week 4, they beat the Cardinals. Week 5, they lose to Tampa Bay in a shootout. Then week 6, they beat Jacksonville. Week 7, they beat the Texans. Week 8, they got a bye. Week 8, they beat Washington. Week 10, they beat Arizona. They played nothing but bad teams.
Right.
Now, the second half of their schedule is where it gets interesting, right? They got Los Angeles on the road. Then they got Tennessee on the road. Then they got Minnesota at home. Then they got Atlanta on the road. Then they got Colts at home, LA at home. Then on the road against Carolina. And then they got to go on the road again against San Fran. So this second half of the schedule is way more challenging than the first half.
Who is that for?
Seattle. I'm going to be honest with you. I fully expect Seattle to come back down to earth, just like the Colts. If you look at the Colts' first half of the schedule versus their second half.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they should have won those games because I always felt the Colts were a good team. I just felt they was a quarterback away. Nonetheless, the Colts in Seattle seem to be I don't want to say Seattle and Indianapolis seem to be the team that people are clamming to this season from both conferences. Everybody is buying the Colt type with Jonathan Taylor, and he's playing phenomenally, by the way. I'm not going to take that away from him. And people are really buying this Seattle Seahawks, wave.
Wait for it.
But I'm telling you, the second half of their schedule, then come talk to me then. Come talk to me then. Because the Eagles have been getting tested throughout this whole schedule from top to bottom. Top to bottom. Not a single stretch where they could really breathe. This whole season, they've been getting tested every week by real opponents, playoff
We
opponents.
haven't been standing still.
As a matter of fact, I'm looking at this right now. Seattle's first 10 weeks of the season. Let me count the playoff teams. They played in, they are 7-2, so they played 9 games. As far as playoff teams go, 1, 2, 3, 4. They played 4 playoff teams out of 9 games. The Eagles, please don't get me started. So Seattle, again, like Alex said, Seattle, they're a cool story. Their defense is playing very well, but they haven't played anybody.
Right.
Who we got next on the super chat? Or was the last one?
Oh, did we get another one pop in? I think Alex was the last one, man. Appreciate them super chats, man. Y'all been killing the game tonight.
Yeah, for sure. Shout out to Alex, man. Shout out to all you guys. Actually, you guys are phenomenal. But again, I seen Sam Darnold in the playoffs last year. I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed. Look, they went and got Rashid Shaheed. That's a big pickup for us for Seattle. Big pickup. Jackson Smith and Jigba is having a phenomenal year. But I don't buy these guys who were ass way longer than they were good. Sorry.
Sorry. Well, ultimately, man, we still sit in the same position. For
Yeah,
all of
yeah,
the talk,
yeah, for
all
sure,
of
for sure.
the conversations that's going on surrounding the Philadelphia Eagles, we are still in the same exact position we was in 3-4 weeks ago.
And
No.
at the same point in the season, they're 7-2. At the same point in the
Correct.
season last year, they're 7-2.
We still bitch, moan, and complaining about what we see, yet we still winning the games.
Uh-huh.
Everybody would love to have our problems. So
Yeah.
let's just leave it at that. We're not gonna please everybody.
I just want
hopefully-
people to understand that a lot of these games, you just need to win. Worry about star points later on. Just get the win. Like Detroit, just beat them. Like Green Bay, just beat them. Rams, Buccaneers, just beat them.
I'm very interested in this game coming up with the Lions because you know Patullo's got to come up with a game plan because they coming. Dan Campbell is coming.
That's going to be the most potent offensive attack they face all year.
Agreed.
Yeah, the closest probably is the Rams because Devontae Adams and Puka.
Yeah, the time for ain't no room for half stepping now.
At all.
Mm-mm.
At all, man. So, I just think this team is built. That's all, man. I think they're built, and I think this defense is only getting better. And that's just how I see it. Real quick though, before we close the show out, let's see here. Let's look at the upcoming schedule for the year or for this week. See what we got coming up. Let's see here. Week 11. Actually, did we go over our observations from Sunday?
Nah, the game results. Nah, I still got to write them down, man.
Okay.
I'm behind in that, bro. I'm behind in that.
Fair enough.
Crazy weekend.
No, you are good. Fair enough. Overall though, let's just review the standings and then we can call it a show. Let's do that.
Okay.
Let's do that. Let's see here what I got for us. Make sure you guys smash that like button as well. We really do appreciate the love and the support. Subscribe to Chalk It Up Sports. Subscribe to Pro Fan Talk. All right. NFL standings. Playoff. All right. Let's bring this up. All right, Marcus, you can bring that up on screen whenever you're ready, big dog. All right, let's zoom in on this thing. So this is the AFC right now. All right, you got the Colts. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit more. There we go. All right, you got the Colts sitting at 8-2 with the number 1 seed. You got the Denver Broncos 8-2, tied for the number 1 seed with the Colts. This is interesting because it says here the Colts win the tiebreaker over New England and Denver based on best win percentage in conference games.
Nice.
And you can see that, and the Colts are 6-1 in the conference, but Denver is 5-2. They're right behind them. And New England, they're 8-2 on the season, with the 4-2 conference record. So the Colts, they can't make no mistakes. But again, the second half of this season is going to tell you everything.
Yep.
It's going to tell you everything, man. The second half of the season for the Colts, the second half of the season for Seattle is going to shake up everything. At the 4th spot, you got the Pittsburgh Steelers, who are 5-4, which is crazy. The Pittsburgh Steelers, they had a chance to run away with this division.
They had, but they couldn't.
It's ridiculous. They're 5-4, a pitiful 5-4. The Chargers, they're 7-3. The Buffalo Bills, they're 6-3 at the 6th spot. And the Jacksonville Jaguars are 5-4. And the Chiefs are 5-4 as well.
Mm-hmm.
So look, the Chiefs, they're running out of room for error.
And I love it. Oh, hold on. Is this old?
What?
I didn't know that Asante Samuel signed with the Steelers.
Oh yeah. They were saying that throughout the chat. I forgot to mention it to you.
I missed that. Okay.
So yeah, again, Kansas City, they're in the eighth spot at 5-4. Houston Texans 4-5. Baltimore's 4-5. Cincinnati Bengals 3-6. Miami Dolphins 3-7. Jets 2-7. Raiders 2-7. Yeah, we know these teams are irrelevant. But did you hear what Joe Burrow said in his press conference the other day, or was it today?
No.
I can't remember.
No.
He
What
said,
did he say?
well, first of all, did you hear that he's due back in a couple months, or like I think he's going to be back sooner than expected?
Last I heard, he was supposed to be back in December.
Yeah. So yeah, there's a chance he may be back a little bit sooner, right? And he came out in his press conference and he mentioned that, just based off of the way things have fell in the division and in the conference, he still believes they're right in the thick of the battle for the division. And I know some people laughed at him, but with the way the Steelers are playing and the Ravens trying to gain ground as well, Cincinnati's right there.
They got a shot. They're not out of it.
That's the thing. They have a shot.
Now they're gonna have a situation where do they stick with Flacco?
Can Flacco keep them in games?
I think so.
Because their schedule, let me look at it real quick. They got Steelers coming up. So, big game right here. See, this is a game right there. They actually play the Steelers and the Ravens two more times. So they can actually, if they win their divisional games, and maybe they're not going to beat the Patriots.
No.
And
we don't have way too many upsets for us to be saying that type of stuff.
That's true. And honestly, the Bills, they're beatable.
They're very beatable.
They're beatable.
Very beatable.
And the Dolphins obviously are beatable as well. So, this entire stretch for Cincinnati is literal winnable games, and they got the Cardinals too, by the way, and the Browns. So they got some layups down here. Well,
let's see if their defense can lock it up.
Yeah, their toughest opponent is the Patriots. So we'll see. Nonetheless, getting back to the standings here, let's go to the NFC. Philadelphia Eagles with the number 1 seed at 7-2. Says here, Seattle is also 7-2, and Detroit is 6-3. It says the Eagles win the tiebreaker over Seattle based on best win percentage in conference games. It's the same logic with the Colts and the Patriots and what's the other team? Shit, I forgot that fast. But regardless, though, Seattle Seahawks, they win the tiebreaker over the LA Rams based on best win percentage in divisional games. And Detroit, they win the tiebreaker over Tampa Bay based on head-to-head win percentage.
Yep.
But here's in Tampa Bay 6-3. The Rams are 7-2. The Bears are 6-3. The Green Bay is 5-3 in the 7th spot. And then on the outside looking in, who's in the hunt, you got San Francisco, who's 6-4.
I just find it funny that the Bears are in front of Green Bay now.
Listen, Green Bay, they ain't got no layups coming up. I'm telling you that right now.
Not. And their offense is not looking good.
Green Bay can easily find themselves out of the playoffs if they drop one too many of these games against their
and if Carolina get a couple more wins,
just to make it tough.
Yeah.
And San Fran is right there. It's just their defense, but San Fran is in the 8th spot looking in at 6-4. Carolina Panthers 5-5. Minnesota Vikings 4-5. That's everything. Minnesota's going to continue to play Green Bay tough. Minnesota's going to continue to play all these teams in their conference tough. Cowboys 3-5-1, Cardinals 3-6, Falcons 3-6, Commanders 3-7, Saints 2-8, Giants 2-8. Here's the thing, right? And this goes back to what I mentioned about the Eagles and why, even though they haven't been winning the way we would like, why the wins are important against who they beat in particular.
Yeah, because you gotta establish yourself right now because it's that momentum is building.
Exactly. You got to establish yourself. You got to put yourself in a position where you got enough things leaning in your direction from an odds perspective.
Everything just got to be clicking, man. Everything's got to be clicking, and and I say that like it's easy.
Mhm.
It's not. It's really not. And Jalen says control the things that you can control.
Yeah.
Well, you damn sure can control that offensive scheme that y'all
Mhm.
throwing out there. So let's see what they do with it. We bitch moaning and complaining, and we just won a game.
Exactly.
So y'all know the rules. If you winning, you nitpicking. If you losing, then you complaining.
And guess
So
what,
right
y'all?
now we nitpicking, and we glad to do it.
And here's another thing. When you really look at the Eagles schedule and look at the standings when it comes to the playoff picture, I do think in the end these are going to be the 7 teams that make the playoffs, right?
Yeah,
I think these are the teams. But here's where things get interesting if you're Philadelphia.
I don't disagree.
You already gotten wins over Green Bay, Los Angeles, and Tampa Bay. You have a chance to get victories over Detroit and Chicago. You can
Yeah.
own the head-to-head tiebreaker against every team in the playoffs except for the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah.
In my humble opinion, there's only one team that's truly threatening the Eagles for the number 1 seed. And obviously, they got to play Detroit. They got to play Chicago. They got to win. They got to play those games. They got to beat the Bills. They still got a job to do.
Yeah.
But again, I'm not a player. I get to look at this. I get to look at this a certain way. So the Eagles control their own destiny, Marcus. They do.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
I think they control their own destiny because as you continue to beat the Lions and the Bears, and you got the 2 layup games against the Commanders, right? Like, you're going to get more conference wins, and as long as you have more conference wins than Seattle, you're good.
Yeah, but that's why it's so important now to get it going.
Yeah,
because it's harder to get it started towards the end of the year.
Mhm.
It has to start now. You got, in my opinion, we got 2 games. We got 2 games to get this offensive thing together. So if we can't get it, and let's be realistic, if we can't get it to the point where we putting up anywhere between 200 and 250 yards a game,
Mhm.
we gonna be on the struggle bus. We're gonna be on the struggle bus. We're not playing too many teams in the turf. I'm looking at Detroit. It's the same thing we've been saying. There is no team who is head and shoulders above anybody else. That's us included. So with that being said, you don't want to have to find out the hard way when you're trying to get to the point where you get your first week bye, because let's be real, that's all we're talking about now. We want to get that first week bye in the playoffs.
Mhm. I think this team needed
Absolutely.
this
Absolutely.
version of the Eagles. This version of the Eagles needs it.
Yes.
And look, we wanted to buy last year, right? But we still felt like our confidence level was different at a certain point in the season. So I think this Eagles team, they need the bye. Granted, I think the way they've been winning games still travels. Don't get me wrong. I trust this Eagles team on the road. They've been actually winning on the road. As a matter of fact, the Eagles on the season, not only do they have the best record in conference, and not only do they have the best record in their division, but on the season, they have they have the highest strength of victory. The second highest strength of victory in the conference. Believe it or not, the Giants have the highest strength of victory because of, they got some key wins over certain teams, right? But overall, actually, to your point, actually this doesn't make sense because the New York Giants are 2-8. They only beat the Eagles and they beat the Chargers. So yeah, that makes sense why the strength of victory would be that high. But nonetheless, though, Eagles
can get got
out of a team that's relevant. Let's put it that way. Out of
Yeah.
the top 7 teams in the conference,
right.
from the Eagles, Seahawks, Lions, Buccaneers, Rams, Bears, Packers, Eagles got the highest strength of victory and have one of the highest strength of schedules. And this Eagles team, again, I think they travel well. Their road together. What's their road? What's their record on the road this year?
The Eagles?
Yeah.
Let
me see. 1, 2.
I'm trying to think of the games we lost on the road. We only
4. They lost to the Giants on the road. That's it.
Right.
So they played a grand total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 road games. They're 4-1 on the road.
Okay.
They're 4-1 on the road. I mean, I trust this Eagles team. Rain, sleet, or snow. They're trying to go.
Yeah, let's just get it together. Come on, Jalen. Control what you can control. Control that damn coach so you can call a better offense, bro.
Yep. That's all I have. Make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Hit the hype button as well. The hype button is super important. Turns out you only get about 2 of those a week. So make sure you guys utilize them wisely.
Hit that mobile device.
You know what I mean? Subscribe to Pro Fan Talk. Hit the notification bell. Make sure you are subscribed to Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge to the game. You guys are truly awesome. Keep this in mind. Your Philadelphia Eagles are 7-2.
7-2, y'all.
On the NFL season at the halfway point.
Halfway point, the back half of the season now.
Yep. And on top of that, they beaten crucial teams in their conference. And they own the tiebreaker over some crucial teams as well. And they have an opportunity in front of them to continue to stake their claim throughout this playoff race. And I promise y'all, things will get better.
Things gonna change. Things gonna change. Bro.
Things will get better.
Things gonna change.
And it's straight like that. He's Marcus Thomas. I'm Tone DeShields II. You guys, this has been the Bald Eagles Podcast. And we out of here. Let's go Birds, baby.
Go Birds.
In the city of Philly, where the birds take flight, Eagle swag on the rise each and every night. Tone and Marcus got the scoop ready to ignite. From the lanes of South Street to the Broad Street lights, dashing like a running back, hitting every play. Blind guys in the zone, never led astray. Talking touchdowns, talking game day. Huddle around the mic, hear what they gotta say. I like an eagle soaring in the sky. Tone and Marcus always standing by, bringing their heat, call it do or die. Philly squad, get up.